about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
What is going on? Jim Beaver here with another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And today it is all killer, no filler. That is right. We have one slam-packed guest lineup, and I am pumped to be doing radio today. Past couple of weeks, man, we've just been blowing it out with some epic shows. Today is no different, and I had one hell of a weekend myself there at Heydays running Rallycross. We're going to get into that in the first segment, but I got to tell you about the guests today. I mean, I'm just looking down this. We got three of them, four if you count Joe Duncan in his regular segment. We're going to recap Heydays, but I mean, kicking things off, we got my good friend Sara Price. I mean, she's part of the family for sure. She co-hosts this radio show with me once in a while out at events. I mean, she calls in at least once a month, it seems like. Recently, she's just been killing it. So we got her on air today again. She just won at Rallycross, big win in the shootout division that pits the men, the women, the turbos, and the 1000s all against each other. She's going to be calling in. Hoonigan, our good friends over there at Hoonigan, they've also got a big gold sticker program going on with her through today. So make sure and head over to Hoonigan.com and get in on Sara Price's gold sticker because she won. So if you make any orders through Hoonigan, they throw in one of those limited edition gold stickers. And those things are just legit. I've got a couple of them floating around the office here, and definitely if you're going to place an order through them, you want to get in on that, get that gold sticker. We got Indy 500 champ, Watkins Glen winner in IndyCar, my good friend Alexander Rossi from Andretti Autosport. He's calling in to talk some Indy cars in the finale this weekend. And then we've got the beast from the East, the legendary Supercross and Monster Jam racer, Damon Bradshaw on the line. All that and more today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm R.J. Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And like I said, heading in to the break, we got a fun one today. Sara Price, she's calling here in hour number 1. Alexander Rossi, one of my favorite guests to get on air. He's on the line here in hour number 1 as well. Hour number 2, we got Joe Duncan calling in. We're going to talk about Terracross, some of the big news coming out of there, as well as the legendary beast from the East, Damon Bradshaw. I mean, what more can I say about this guy? I grew up watching him. Legendary Supercross rider, one of the greatest of all time. I didn't say the greatest, but I said one of the greatest of all time. He's calling into the show. He's one of the most accomplished monster truck racers ever. Now he's racing UTVs. I actually raced against him out there in Terracross. A phenomenally talented individual, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. It's going to be fun to have him on the line, just talk about his career and where things are headed. He's just anything he touches, man, he's competitive at. So going to be exciting to catch up with him. And, this past weekend, as you guys know, I've been kind of on a bender. Vegas to Reno, had a week off, and then I was at Crandon. Then I was at Heydays, the kickoff to snow season, they say, but, the past few years, it's actually been the kickoff to Terracross season, right? And kind of the UTV ride season, at least for us here on the West Coast, because it's so dang hot in the summertime. We parked those Polaris Razors. But Heydays out there, and they had a phenomenal track built out there at Heydays. I showed up, and as you guys know, I've been racing this series. This is the start of my 3rd year, and I've had some struggles in the past. We all know about my crazy crash in San Diego like 2.5 years ago. But since then, I've been figuring it out, and I'm a desert racer by trade, right? I mean, it's a new element, this short course, the Supercross style jumps, and I've had to figure it out, and I've kept with it. I've kept chugging along, and, and that's the thing with life, right? I mean, when I built this radio show from nothing the first couple of years, there wasn't a lot there, but now we've got this massive, fan base and some amazing guests like we have today. And, I kind of took that same approach in Terracross. I'm like, all right, I know year 1 I'm not going to be good. I'm like, but we just got to keep going, right? You're going to have people say, you suck. Why are you doing that? What a joke. You're going to have people say that, right? You just got to shrug it off. Like, we're going to figure this out. And so did that. And year 1, I just kind of got through it, right? And year 2 last year, it was like, all right, I'm kind of figuring it out. I'm kind of putting it together. I kind of know what it takes, but I wasn't quite there yet, And I think I took like some 6th or some 7th place finishes. Going into this year, they go, what's your goals for this year? I said, I want podiums. Like, this is the year. I'm going to do podiums. I didn't know. I mean, we got some super competitive people in Terracross, right? I mean, look, I'm racing against Damon Bradshaw, right? We've got some absolutely talented guys. I know my class, there's Brett Turcotte. I mean, snowmobile legend, right? So, it's one of those things where it's like, how well are we going to do? We got Hubert, who's phenomenally talented in a razor. Don't let his redneck persona don't let that, confuse you. Hubert's phenomenally talented in a UTV. So, going in, I'm like, man, I want a podium, but it's not going to be easy, right? So we go into Heydays, and I set my, I set my game plan, and they changed things where they've got like a mid-race caution now, almost like, Torque and Lucas Oil do, where, 5 laps in, Terracross main events are 10 laps, 5 laps in, boom, wave it, they let everybody regroup, and then they start you again. So I'm like, all right, so, let's run clean, let's save our cars, because in Terracross, saving your equipment is very, very important. So I'm like, let's save our equipment, and, and then after 5 laps, let's go racing. Right, so I just kind of let the leaders just kind of go out there knowing that, all right, we're going to regroup at some point, and there's a couple guys that kind of flipped on their side, had some issues, stuff like that, right? So I kind of saved my car and then was like, boom, all right, I got a fresh car with 5 laps to go, and some of these other guys got fenders hanging off and everything else. I'm like, all right, I got like a brand new car here. So 5 laps to go, I started racing, and I was a hair off pace from the leader, I'll say that, but I kept it clean, made some passes when I had to. Guys, they ended up, damaging their cars, and I think with a lap to go, I ended up making a pass to the guy who had some problems in a corner and kind of got high-centered, and ended up finishing second in the first main, and kind of took that same approach for the second one, right? And it ended up working really well. I ended up with 2 second-place finishes on the weekend. Man, I was just hoping to podium this year, right? Like, at one point, I just wanted a podium. Here I am with 2 podiums in one race weekend. And so now, because of the way things work, so in the first event, it was Brett Turcotte who got the win. I got second, and Damon Bradshaw got third. So, so I was second in points. And then going into the second main event of the weekend, Hubert ended up winning, who finished he had some struggles in the first one. I got second again, and then Nate Wessel, props to my boy Nate. He's going to be on Project Action later this week. He ended up getting third, and so because of that, I end up inheriting the points lead going into the next round in North Carolina sometime in October. So, consistency paid off. I was kind of right there, kept it clean, and boom, I was ended up in the Pro Turbo Celebrity. I think it's Celebrity Pro Turbo they call it, something like that. I'm the current points leader, so I'm amped, man. I am pretty amped. It's 2 podiums in one weekend, 2 second-place finishes. I got to say, beyond stoked. So just got to give a big thanks to Terracross for having me out. I know some of the sponsors on my car was Keystone Automotive, Max Pappas, MPI steering wheels, and thanks to all my partners, obviously Impact, they keep me safe in my suits, and Dirtfish Rally, my sponsor for just about everything I do this year. Polaris Razor, obviously. We got a lot of other sponsors, not necessarily in my Terracross program, but I had a ton of fun out there. It airs on TV here, coming up on CBS Sports. I think October. We'll have to ask Joe Duncan in hour number 2 when he calls in. I don't know, but I've been getting pinged with a lot of questions on social media. Hey, when's this air on TV? I think it's like the first week of October, maybe into September. First week of October, it airs on television. It's on a weekend. It's a good time slot, and it's on CBS Sports Network, so it's legit TV. They do have some re-airs, and I think MAV TV at some point is going to re-air them as well. But I'll keep you guys in the loop as far as like TV and stuff like that goes. But all in all, man, fun weekend. Heydays, you guys have heard me talk about it for 3 years now, and it's crazy. You've got Crandon that happens in Wisconsin on Labor Day, and then the weekend after that, it's Heydays, and there's a lot of the same people. They're within like a 5-hour drive of each other. A lot of people that do the double back-to-back, and they're both similar type events. Both draw about 50,000 people, and it's just good old Midwestern fun, man. People out in their campers, you got a couple thousand campers, people talking power sports and off-road and racing and snowmobiles, and, you've got manufacturers there and vendors, and it's just a ton of fun. The beer's flowing, there's naked slip and slide going down. It's just, it is one heck of a good time. So if you guys ever have the chance, I'm telling you, like, I'm just going to say, like, I'm throwing it out there, like, you need to take like a 10-day vacation and just go to the Midwest and seriously go to Crandon one weekend and then drive to Haydays and do Haydays the next weekend. Like, if you can do that, I swear you're going to have the most fun of your life. It is so much fun. I'm just blessed to be able to do what I do, but I did the double along with quite a few other people, and it was a ton of fun. But Haydays, just a lot of news coming out of there. I know we'll probably dive into it more in hour number 2. We got another slot there to talk about some things, but just a lot of good stuff coming out of Haydays. A lot of news that I wasn't ready for. About the snow bike industry, about the snowmobile industry. So a lot of rumors floating around, even about X Games and some of that. So we've definitely got some really, really solid storylines going into the wintertime. Before we go to a commercial break, I do have to tell you guys about a new podcast that I'm listening to. It's really awesome. It's on the history of NASCAR. It's called Heritage Road. It's a 6-part miniseries that takes you behind the wheel of the history and tradition of NASCAR and under the hood of the science of the sport. Stuff like, do you really know what G-force feels like? Or one of the sport's most promising stars who was in the prime of his career and he was shot down over some sugar. Well, Heritage Road is hosted by Rich Phillips, the voice of Texas Motor Speedway, and brought to you by Busch, the beer that supported racing since 1979. And you can subscribe to Heritage Road wherever you listen to podcasts. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, joined on the line by my good friend and occasional co-host. And I don't know, we need to have like this official Sara Price segment, because I think it's like every other week we got you calling in, Sara. So I think you like need your own branded segment at this point on this show.
I know. I was thinking about that. I was like, last time we were talking about trophy trucks. This time it's going to be about Terracross.
Yeah, I'm like,
we're always having some fun.
Yeah, we need to come up with something. We'll come up with like a catchy term. We'll just like once a month we just know we've got Sara for 20 minutes in this slot, and we'll just like it'll be like the Sara Price slot, and we just need to brand it. We got to figure this out somehow. But no, we had a ton of fun this weekend. So yeah, I did. So just so the audience knows, Sara and I and James Hill, Sara's boyfriend Jolene Van Butte, we also shared a rental car this weekend. So we definitely had some good times. I think this was probably, Sara, I don't know if you feel the same way. I talked to Joe Duncan yesterday on the phone, but just not even Terracross, but this was probably, and I don't know, it's probably because of the three people I was with, but this was probably one of the most fun event weekends I've had in a long, long time. Just like, I think we were laughing the entire weekend. Like, it was just a good time.
That's what me and James were talking about. We were like, dude, like, this was the most fun, like, we've had in a long time, and just surrounded by such good people. Like, we had the best crew, and we constantly were on a mission and just having fun and getting to drive stuff. In between that, having the most incredible racing you can expect. Dude, it was by far one of the best weekends in a long time.
Yeah, well, and when I posted that picture, I started thinking about it on social media, and I'm like, all right, so I had 2 seconds. I'm like, James, I know, took a podium in the Pro Open Turbo. I think he took a second there. You took the overall win in the shootout division. Jolene took a first. Nate Wessel, who was in the picture, he took a podium in his very first ever Terracross event. I'm like, man, we took home a lot of podiums between the 5 of us. I mean, that was a pretty solid weekend.
Yeah, and you took home 2 podiums too.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I was just like, it was a good weekend all in all. I had a ton of fun. Like I know before we were like, oh, we don't know if we're going to do the next one or this or that. And like afterwards, I think all of us were like, all right, it's on. We're going. Like when do we go to North Carolina? So
yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. So how was it? I got to ask you, because I know they had that shootout race, and at one point you and I were talking. You were possibly going to run my turbo. You ended up going with your 1000. I got to say that was like the smartest decision you ever made, because those turbos, like Ronnie Anderson, he was working his butt off, and there was no way he could catch you guys. I don't know if the gap was just too much when they started him or what, but you made the absolute right call running that 1000.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think they might have made the gap a little bit too different, starting those turbos a little bit behind the 1000s. The 1000s honestly aren't that much slower than the turbos on that kind of track.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a tight track. You're not going to get that much more speed having a turbo. It's, of course, getting out of the corner, you'll have a little bit more. But, yeah, once, in the women's classes, I was always starting kind of mid-pack or in the back, and it was tough. It was tough racing. That track, it's really hard to pass on, and so if you get a good start, you pretty much have a really good chance of taking it to the finish as long as you keep your car together. And in the pro shootout, that's what I did, and it worked out. I was just every lap like, come on, car, just stay together.
Yeah. Well, and I know one thing I was impressed, like, I think it was 2 years ago, you kind of went undefeated, and then last year Shelby stepped up, and like her game last year, like Shelby, it was like she elevated her game, like not just in Terracross, but I think in Workson and everything. I mean, like Shelby, there was a turning point last year where she upped her game, and it was like you were like, all right, like I've got a legit competitor now, And yep. This year, I feel like Jamie's won a championship in the past, but when she did, I don't think the women's competition level was quite what it is now. And then last year when she came back, I think she realized, she's like, oh, man, the girls have got fast. But in this offseason, I think she did the homework. Jamie is really quick this year. And then Jolene, we know the kind of homework she's been doing. She's fast. Like, I'm excited. Like, there's 3 of you, and if we can get Shelby back, there's going to be 4 of you guys that are really just battling.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, the girls, the competition it's top-notch. And, like, when we're talking about just, like, the female class, the females are faster than the male class. So that is proven in lap time. So it's not just the girls class anymore. It's the fast 1000 class. And it is pretty awesome. Like, honestly, that year I went undefeated, like I had my work cut out for me, but the next year I had my work cut out for me even more with Shelby stepping it up, and she honestly did. She's an amazing driver, a great talent, and so is Jamie Luberg. Like this year, she was a lot faster than I've ever seen her, and it goes to show she's obviously been doing her homework. And Jolene, oh my gosh, I am so proud of her. She's obviously been killing it because, the last few years she struggled a little bit trying to figure it out, and I feel like she finally figured it out, and it showed.
Yeah, like I saw a different, and I know she's been doing some stuff in the desert with me, so she's logging a lot of seat time just in a Razor. But then at Pastrana's, I know she's out there just about every day training and burning in laps at Travis's track. And like I hadn't seen her, I've been driving with her in the desert, and I'm going like, especially at Vegas to Reno, she clicked off 100 miles. And I think she made one minor mistake in 100 miles. And she was driving fast, and her times are actually better than Travis's. And I'm like, this girl's getting really, really good. And then I see her at Terracross. I'm like, she's figured this out. Like, and she's talented. I mean, she can figure anything out. But, she's put in the work the past 2 years, and I'm so proud of her, just like you. I mean, we're all pretty close, and it's just like to see her come and put in the work and be as quick as she is. I mean, I'm stoked for her.
Yeah, I'm beyond stoked for her. Her driving, like, it was nothing like I've seen before. Like, honestly, she was a whole new driver this last weekend at Terracross in my eyes from what I've experienced with Jolene. And, I'm so pumped for her. And she's been working hard. She wants it. And that's what's cool, like, is that she can succeed at it. And I was stoked because it was good racing. Like, I was behind her battling, and I was trying everything I could to pass her, and I just couldn't make a pass. And then made that mistake of, I guess her car went in the lit mode over the Mangler, and it threw me backwards on the Mangler, and I was like, I'm pulling the Haley Deegan right now.
I was scared for you on that one. I was scared for you. I was in the announce booth because when I'm not driving, I jump in the announce booth for those people listening to know why I was actually up there. But I could see like the top of the Mangler, but I couldn't see down in the hole, and all of a sudden I see Sarah's wheels come up. And then I see Sarah's wheels go back down. I'm like, you were doing like full on like a fakie, like I guess we'd call in BMX or something. Like I was like, oh no! And I couldn't see in the bottom if you went over it, and you must have just rolled back, right, and then just gunned it from the bottom and jumped up.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to not do a full on backflip, but yeah, I was. That's the hard part right there, because when you're not in front, you have to time it. Like you honestly have to tell yourself in the middle of a race, like, okay, I need to slow down and just, wait right now, because I will catch up to them on that Mystic Mangler and hit them and then be screwed completely. So, that was quite fun for at least TV, Yeah. It made me get a third instead of a first, which, whatever, that happens, and that's racing. But, hey, it's all fun and good stories and memories that last a lifetime.
Yeah, well, and I know, like, speaking of that, like, that thing is so deep, and I was actually, I was on the second row and going in on the first lap of one of the races. Hubert had the whole shot, Damon Bradshaw was in second, and I was in third, and we all went, like, in a train to the Mangler, and I literally, coming down the tabletop that goes into it, I got to the bottom and I completely stopped. And Hubert went up and he checked up, and Damon, it was his very first ever like lap in, in Terracross, and he's just like gun-ho, and he went up, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. And he clipped Hubert when Hubert checked up. He barrel rolled, and then I saw this happening, and I was like, I knew I would have been right in the middle of that if I would have kept going. And then after he finished rolling, I just gunned it from the bottom, jumped out, and went around, and afterwards he's like, how did you know not to bail in there? I'm like, dude, I've seen that for like 3 years. He's like, how'd you get by? I'm like, I just stopped at the bottom. He's like, you stopped? I'm like, sometimes in Terracross, stopping is faster than going.
It's so crazy. Like it's such a, like, you have to be so smart in Terracross, and like it's so hard to tell yourself when you're at race pace to be like, okay, I have to stop right now or else I'm gonna crash, because it's so vert that you go slower at the top from at the bottom, so the person behind you catches you for that quick second.
Yeah. It's gnarly. But, yeah, there's so many places. I know at one point, like, somebody rolled over in a corner, and, like, I'm going in reverse, like, and it was one of those deep ones, so I had to, like, back out, like, 20 yards in reverse in a race, put it in gear, and take a different line. I'm like, it's so random. This is not how I would normally race. Like, I'm just like, but I'm like, it's Terracross. I'm like, how is going backwards faster, But, yeah. So, I got to say that. What's that?
I was telling a few new people who came, I was like, hey, there's nothing that can prepare you for Rallycross, and I'm giving them advice and giving some of the other girls advice, and they're probably looking at me like, oh, okay, we're going to take advice from you, you want to beat us, but legitly I'm like, no, here's some good advice, it's not nothing you can prepare for, so just go out there and honestly go slow and smooth as you can, and that will be the best you can do. And they came back after that to go, oh my gosh, we totally get it now what you were telling us.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, nothing prepares you.
So I got to say, I know we only got a minute left of this segment, but I was super pumped to log on to social media yesterday. Our good friends over there at the Hoonigans, I was texting with Brian and Ashley last night, who, if they're listening in, congrats once again on the wedding. But Hoonigan, they've got gold sticker time for Sara Price. That's pretty exciting. I think they're going to run it through the end of today. So I don't know, you got to be pretty pumped for the gold sticker, your first ever gold sticker giveaway with the Hoonigans.
Oh, I'm super pumped. When I saw that post, I was like, yes, I'm part of the Gold Sticker Club. So, yeah, if you guys want some extra good stuff, just log on to Hoonigan.com and make an order, and they'll throw in some extra thick gold plates and stickers for you guys. And, dude, Hoonigan is by far, one of the coolest companies I've ever had the chance to work with. The people are so down to earth and just real. So I'm stoked that I represented them on my car this weekend, along with the trophy truck team, RPM Off-Road. So it was a good looking car, I say.
Yeah, I think it was good. Sometimes simpler is better. Your car was definitely it popped. You could see when it went around, it was oh, there's the Hoonigan ride. So good stuff. But thanks a lot, Sara. I appreciate the time. We'll definitely have to do it again soon.
Definitely. Thanks, Jim.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sara. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, joined on the line by, 2016 Indy 500 champ, 2017 Watkins Glen winner, Alexander Rossi. How's everything going, my friend?
Going good. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I got to say, Watkins Glen, that's got to feel pretty darn good. I mean, we got a lot to talk about today, but we just got to approach this one right out of the box. I mean, getting kind of the monkey off your back since the Indy 500, that's got to feel really good to walk away with another victory in IndyCar.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's exactly what you said. It was a big burden that the whole 98 team was carrying, and I think that, we knew that we had the potential to do it. We knew that 2017 was a much stronger year from us from a performance standpoint, but we weren't putting the whole weekend together, and that was frustrating. We knew time was ticking down, so it was a pretty cool thing to have happen, especially with the timing of the announcement of the extension of Napa Auto Parts continuing with us, and obviously Andretti staying with Honda, and me therefore staying with Andretti. It was all culminating to be a pretty cool thing come Sunday.
Yeah, well, and obviously you come into Andretti last year, you win the Indy 500 almost right out of the box, and it was like, I mean, it was a big statement. It's like, oh, he's arrived, like he's here, he's the real deal, and then we go and you and I both know. I mean, you've been up there. You guys have been really, really fast, but like you said, just for one reason or another, things just didn't go your way. I mean, at some point, did you feel a whole lot of pressure? Like, man, I've really got to produce here, or was everything, I know, internally I'm sure you're feeling that, but were you feeling like any external pressure as well? I mean, how was the pressure building up to that win?
Every race, there's pressure to win, whether you're guaranteed a job for 5 years or not, or you just want to race. I mean, motorsports is an interesting world, and where you're only as good as your last race. So, I mean, that pressure exists no matter what the surrounding circumstances are. So I wouldn't say it's anything more than, a race weekend in Iowa, for example. But it was something that we were obviously very motivated as a group to do. And I think, our momentum really started to come in Toronto when we were on the podium. And that was one of our absolute worst tracks in 2016. So to then go back a year later and to be on the podium, to have, two teammates in the top 7, it was a good kind of turn of events for all of Andretti Autosport. And then from there on, I think we were operating at a different level. I don't think anything consciously changed among the team, but I think from a subconscious standpoint, we were just proving to ourselves each time we went on track that, we were capable of being in the front on all types of tracks, no matter the circumstances. And then it was just a matter of time for it to come together. And like I said, I'm glad it did before the end of the year because time was ticking down for sure.
Yeah, well, and that being said, I mean, you guys right at the end of August, you had those big announcements. Obviously, Napa re-signed. You had the 2-year extension with Andretti. I mean, I know you knew you were going to have a job next year, whether it be with Andretti or some other team. But I mean, was that really once everything's kind of inked and done? I mean, was that a big relief off of your shoulders? Just like, all right, now we can really concentrate on racing for the next couple of years, and we don't have to deal with all that.
I mean, not really, because again, like I said, I mean, it doesn't matter what your surrounding circumstances are. You are expected to win and perform at your best every time you get in the race car. So it honestly didn't change my approach. I mean, St. Louis for me was kind of crunch time in terms of, our negotiations and what was happening, and that was probably my best short oval race of the year, and there was a lot of uncertainty going into it. So it's something that, because I've had to every year kind of prove myself that I belonged in a team or in a championship or whatever, it's something that I've come quite accustomed to. So I'm able to compartmentalize it, I guess, once I get into the car, and it just becomes about maximizing, the equipment that I have on that given day.
Yeah, well, and like you said, coming into the off season, where I think a round left in in the IndyCar Championship, but and you're sitting sixth in the points. You've had a phenomenal year, but having that win right at the end of the year, going into the off season, it gives you that off season momentum. But then I think on the business side as well, it's got to make the sponsorship pitch a little bit easier. Not that any sponsorship pitch is easy in motorsports these days, but it's like, hey, this guy's leaving this season with a win. That's got to feel really good, kind of heading towards the off season.
100%. Momentum is one of the things that's pretty underrated in racing, because people think about, it's a different track every track you go to, or every weekend that you're racing, but it does something for the whole team and from everyone. So yeah, momentum is something that's very powerful in motorsports, and when you get a result like that, especially going into what's a very long off season for the Verizon IndyCar Series, the mechanics, the truck drivers, the marketing staff, the team owners, engineers, everyone is kind of excited about, where the direction of the team is heading. And that's something that's super powerful when you go into a break of almost 6 months with no on-track activity. You kind of look at how the last races went, and if they're strong, then it's a much better mood, I guess, that everyone is in for the off season.
Yeah. Well, and talking about, looking forward at things and kind of looking back at the same time, you came here from Europe and, you're for the most part doing, a lot of road racing, and road courses and things like that. You've now won on road courses and you've, won on ovals. What's the difference? What does it take for you to be able to switch week in and week out? And, what's the biggest thing you've had to learn to kind of make that transition to running ovals?
Well, I think that transition that you have to make is part of what makes this championship what it is, and it's the most diverse series on the planet, no doubt about it. You're racing on a super speedway to a street course to a short oval and back to a road course in the space of 4 weeks, and there's nothing else like it on the planet. So it requires a lot of understanding of what you're looking for from the car is the biggest thing, and being able to kind of separate that from, I guess what I'm getting at is, so in normal race championships, you kind of take what you learn from 1 week and apply it to the next week. Whereas in this championship, you don't. You kind of start each week as a new piece of paper, and you'll go back to previous experiences on what's good and what's bad, but you don't have the continuity of, okay, we left off with the race car here Sunday night, and this is where we're going to start Friday morning. It's very much, you kind of reset everything, and it does take some getting used to, but I was fortunate to have a team that's very strong, and one of our strengths is the preparation that we have leading into events, and I have very experienced teammates in Ryan and Marco and Takuma to lean on. And
talking about, what you've learned, what's the biggest thing that you wish you knew coming from your Formula One background into IndyCar and the switch of road courses and ovals, and you said you've got these phenomenal teammates. What's the biggest thing at this point in time you wish you would have known, a couple years ago before coming in that you know now?
That's a good question. I guess the level of competitiveness, I knew it was competitive just from watching, the couple races I would watch a year and see how closely contested they are. But what I didn't realize is how the competitiveness exists throughout the whole weekend. So, every decision that you make, every setup change that you make, every line adjustment that you make as a driver, every strategy decision you make from a tire usage standpoint, all has a cause and effect. And, there's a lot of decisions that you can make in Europe in kind of the Formula One world where, because you're only really racing against one car or 3 cars type of thing, it doesn't really, you don't see the penalty if you get it wrong. You'll know it was the wrong decision, but, you're not going to be 10 positions lower. Whereas in IndyCar, if you make a wrong spring change in the middle of qualifying, you can go from being in a position to qualify 3rd or 4th to qualifying 15th. And it's that level of precision and confidence in what you're doing that I think I underestimated coming over, and I know now, and something that, I feel that we're getting quite good at. But yeah, it's a very intense championship from that perspective.
Yeah, well, and I think, obviously you've come over, you've had a lot of success. we saw, at the Indy 500, Fernando come over, and he had a phenomenal time. He was very competitive. I mean, and I think, I think you guys, I don't think he was coming in, realizing the level of IndyCar drivers. I mean, do you feel like we're going to see some more drivers from Europe trying to make that transition over here into IndyCar?
For sure. And I'd like to accept responsibility for that. I think that after 2016, a lot of guys, it piqued their interest for sure. And, guys that I used to race against and friends of mine over there, ask me all the time about what it's like and who to talk to and everything. So I think that there's no shortage of interest from all walks of motorsports for guys to become IndyCar drivers. What we're just missing now is cars and teams and there's plenty of potential, I think, to have a pretty big grid. We just need more team owners, and it looks like everything's going in that direction. There's a lot of positivity surrounding new teams coming in next year, so everything's looking up for the championship. But definitely, I do think we'll see an influx of European drivers, no doubt about it.
Yeah, well, and that being said, I mean, next year, there's this all new Indy car. I mean, the 2018 car. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The thing's stunning to look at, but it's going to make you guys change your driving style a bit. I mean, how does this going into the off season and looking at next year, you as a driver? I mean, what are you expecting next year? I mean, you've learned so much these 2 years. Do you feel like you're going to have to relearn some things next year with this all new car?
Well, it's impossible to say. I mean, I don't really know until I get in it. But from what I've heard, it's very much like the cars that I was used to. So yeah. I'm hoping that, I get in and it's something that kind of the old habits just come back and it's an easy transition. But it's a bit of an unknown at the moment because as much as the guys are testing the car on track, it hasn't been optimized from a setup perspective. And, there's a lot of performance still to be found within the car. So it won't be until we're really on the limit of the thing before we know what it needs to go quickly. But I think in terms of just the numbers that I see and, the biggest thing being the weight distribution change, the car is going to be much more like, what I grew up racing over in Europe.
Yeah. Well, and before we let you go, a couple of questions. I know recently you got to go to your first NHRA race with Napa and check out what Ron Capps has got going on over there. What was your takeaway from NHRA?
That I love it, and I definitely want to go to more races, but I'll never get in one. I think that was the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, you draw the line at 230 miles an hour, right? It's just like, yeah, we don't need to go to 300, right?
Well, it's not even that. I don't think it's necessary to do it in 3 seconds. Like, it's just, I mean, I'm all down for like getting in a car and doing a quarter mile in 7 or 8 seconds. I think that'd be cool, but 3.4 or whatever is not on my list of priorities.
Yeah, you can feel you there. That's definitely for sure. So before we let you go, I mean, Sonoma coming up this weekend. I mean, what do we expect coming out of that track? It's an exciting track. It's one that I just like the layout. It's fun from a fan perspective. You as a driver perspective. I mean, what are we what are we thinking here?
Well, it was one of the best tracks last year. So we had a very positive test at the beginning of the year. We obviously have taken a step forward from a performance standpoint, so we're going in with pretty high expectations. It's an awesome track to drive, a lot of fun, very difficult. It's very, very low grip, and it's a complete 180 of where we were in Watkins. Watkins is the highest grip track we go to. Sonoma's probably the lowest grip track, so it's very difficult from a tire perspective and tire wear and tire life. But yeah, like I said, we were strong there last year. It's a track that I know very well, and it's a home race for me. So I'll have a lot of people out coming and checking it out and supporting me. So hopefully we can put on a good show and get another win for them.
Yeah, so another week. You've got a couple of months off for the off season. I like to say off. I mean, we all know for a race car driver, you never have really an off weekend. But what's the winter time? What's that look like for you?
I don't know yet. I mean, we're just trying to get to the end of the season. I haven't been home in Indiana much, so I'm looking forward to that. And I moved into a new house at the beginning of the year, and there's still a lot to be done. So I'm going to be making a lot of trips to Home Depot, I think. But other than that, I don't really know. I'll go to California for the holidays and such, and then we'll get back to testing Indy cars in January.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, Alexander. Good luck this weekend, man. I would love nothing more than to see you cap off the season with another win.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Is giving away over $61,000 in guaranteed cash prizes. It's the Crazy Cash Harvest.
Swipe your club card daily to receive drawing entries for the grand finale on November 25th with 3 $5,000 drawings, and one winner will win $25,000.
Plus, every Saturday, $3,500 in guaranteed cash prizes. Drawings from 2 to 6 p.m. Just see the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Celebrate Mexican Independence Day with the Selena Tribute Show. Los Chicos del 512. Live Saturday, September 16th. Inside the showroom at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission just $20. Or VIP tickets only $30. Available now at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Or visit BlueWaterFun.com.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Right on the money.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, just capping off an epic interview with Alexander Rossi, Andretti Autosport driver, and I just love this guy. I mean, you try and be neutral as a radio host, but you guys know, like, when I have favorites, like Rossi, definitely one of my favorites in IndyCar. Love the dude, just a class act, and gives back to the local community, and just a solid gold guy. And you got to love him, getting that big win at Watkins Glen, coming back to Andretti for another couple seasons. Napa back on board. Man, they got a lot of momentum heading into the 2018 IndyCar season, that's for sure. And I can't wait to see these dead sexy IndyCars that they've got for next year. I can't wait to see them wrapped and out on track, man. It's going to be a fun year in 2018 for IndyCar, that's for sure. But got to ask you guys a favor real quick before we go to this next short break. You guys listen to this show. You guys listen to my show, Project Action. Our partners over at Podcast One, who also distribute the show, they've got a survey right now. It's very important that I get some survey responses. If you guys could go to podcastone.com, right on the front page, it says survey. Click on that. Fill out the survey. It's anonymous. They don't ask for any personal information, no email addresses. Just fill it out. Click the box for Down and Dirty Show. And if you listen to Project Action, my other show, click the box for that. Fill out the info. It takes only only a couple of minutes, hit submit. It's very much appreciated. And while you're at it, go over to iTunes and be sure and rate, review, subscribe to both the Down and Dirty Show as well as Project Action. And, I would appreciate it. It's the easiest way to get the show beamed directly to your phone. So we'll be back after this with more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Rolling right into our Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at, guess where? Dirtfish Rally School. They're in Snoqualmie, Washington. Good partners of mine. I got to tell you, I wear that bright orange impact helmet that says Dirtfish really big on the side, and I wear that Dirtfish hat everywhere I go. Much appreciated for their partnership, and make sure and hit them up if you need some driver training. And you know what? I've got a discount code for you. That's right. Use the coupon code JBDirtfish, and I'll give you 15% off your classes there at Dirtfish Rally School. So, and I'm actually organizing a big ride up there, or a big event later on this year. So hit me up. DM me if you think you might want to go to Dirtfish with a couple of celebrity drivers. Hey, I may have a seat for you. Cost you a little bit of money, but if you want to go with some celebrity drivers and friends of mine as well as me, probably be worth the trip for you up there to Dirtfish. But thanks to all you guys for tuning in. This is your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, and big news was Red Bull Global Rallycross Seattle. This is always a big, massive event, mainly because the Northwest is Subaru country and the Northwest is rally country, and so this one always well attended up there. It's a doubleheader in Seattle. It was Evergreen Speedway, and I got to tell you, it did not disappoint. Day one, GRC Lights competition. It was Cyril Raymond with the win. Christian Brooks, Travis Picoy from 1, 2, and 3. Supercars, though, it was Tanner Faust. A pair of Andretti's on top of the podium. 1 and 2 was Tanner Faust, Scott Speed. But those Subarus, that's right, Chris Atco Atkinson finding his way to the podium yet again this season. Gotta love seeing those Subarus compete for podiums. Always a good thing. And then day number 2, once again, it was Tanner and it was Scott Speed, 1 and 2 on top of the box. But that's right, but we had a Subaru there in the 3rd spot. Patrick Sandell sneaking in for yet another Subaru podium. Then in 4th place, it was Chris Atkinson. Tough weekend all in all for Steve Arpin. He's had a phenomenal run this year, but, he was in the hunt for that points championship. This one definitely going to hurt him. He's in 3rd position right now. 756 points for Speed. Tanner Faust in second with 726, and then you've got Arpin sitting in the number 3 spot with 682. So, that was definitely tough. But 1 round left of Red Bull Global Rallycross, and that is in Los Angeles, about a month out, middle of October. So if you're a GRC fan, definitely check it out. But that was your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. And we're going to be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered, packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Honey, the Blue Water Resort and Casino is giving away over $61,000 in guaranteed cash prizes. It's the Crazy Cash Harvest.
Swipe your club card daily to receive drawing entries for the grand finale on November 25th with 3 $5,000 drawings, and one winner will win $25,000.
Plus, every Saturday, $3,500 in guaranteed cash prizes. Drawings from 2 to 6 p.m. Just see the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at JimBeaver15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, joined on the line by my good friend Joe Duncan. This is our Terracross Starts with Optimus segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters, starting every RZR on the grid in the Terracross Championship. How's everything going, my friend?
Things are amazing, Jim Beaver. Things are amazing.
Yeah.
Wrapping up at heydays, and always nice to round out the days after heydays and look at all those social media posts and all the text messages and all the emails. What an amazing event! What great athletes and great sponsors we have as part of Terracross. Awesome.
Yeah, I got to tell you, even Sara and I were talking earlier on in the show, and both of us have been with you in this series for a long, long time. I know James Hill, he's been there, I think, almost since the start, too, and Jolene's been there for a while, and all of us, even in the car ride back to the airport, all of us were like, this was the best Terracross event ever. It just was. The track was good. The racing was good. The atmosphere was good. Everything ran smooth. We all had so much fun. This was what it's all about, Joe.
Yeah, you know what? That's throughout the pits, throughout the messages on Sunday night and Monday. That's kind of what we heard, and as we all know, that's always the goal. And with events and with competitions and with different personalities, it's hard to make that happen. But somehow, some way, we were able to do that, and I think a lot of it has to do with kind of the bright future ahead with Terracross and the family events, Bon Air Corp, that, we have a lot of great things going on for the future, which made the things here, that much easier to pull off. And yeah, I mean, the racetrack was amazing. You know, we didn't start from scratch. We didn't reinvent the wheel like we do every time. So we had a great starting point. Jason Luberg, can't say enough, him and Hubert Rowland and all the great course crew. Jeremy with his ideas and his game plan out there on the track and working with those guys, and Jamie Luberg jumping in and helping out. Just what a great team to get that put together. And our operations team was on point and got the scaffolding up. As usual, our graphics with late sponsors and late entries and all the stuff we're doing, a little later than we'd like, but like we said in the drivers meeting, we were a day and a half ahead of schedule, and we had a lot of things ready to go for Friday and Saturday that we haven't had in the past. So I think those things made it a lot easier, and just a super big thank you to Lucas Oil and Mav TV and CBS Sports Network for working through a bunch of things that we had to muster through for this event to knock out some great television. I mean, just from the photos that are out there and the video clips, can you imagine what the TV shows are going to look like with that racing and carnage out there?
Yeah, there's one picture you texted last night, and I texted to Sara and Jolene and James Hill because we've got kind of a funny group text going on right now. But I got to tell you, if you had to award the biggest error of the weekend, it went to Kayla Savage. That picture of her coming out of the Ripsaw Ridge, Joe. It looked just like the emoji of a rocket taking off. I actually posted a picture of the rocket taking off, that emoji, and they're literally the same angle and everything as Kayla Savage and that Razor coming out of the Ripsaw Ridge. I know she's sore today, but I got to tell you, that was like the biggest send I think I've ever seen in my life. That was crazy.
Jim Beaver, I think she beat you and Billy Young on launching a Razor as a rookie in Terracross. That picture and that height, and just think that Razor that she did that with, other than I think she bent an A-arm and broke an axle off of that big of a jump, and it was fixed less than 10 minutes later, ready to go again. But she jumped and just hooked that thing out of that Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge, and it is insane. I'm so glad somebody caught that photo, because it just blows you away of what these Polaris Razors and what Terracross throws at them, and what comes out of it at the end.
Yeah, well, I know I've long had a joke that said, I think the next big thing, and it's always kind of been tongue-in-cheek joke, is, Moto X has Step Up in the X Games. I'm like, we need Polaris Razor Step Up, right? And I'm like the Ripsaw Ridge at Heydays is like the perfect place to have a Razor Step Up contest. And everybody laughs. Everybody's like, yeah, but nobody really wants to do it. And I'm like, oh, it'd be perfect, right? Well, nobody's actually ever attempted it until Kayla Savage. And I got to tell you, she can take the gold medal and have it. I don't want that gold medal. Kayla Savage, you've got it, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, she comes from that monster truck world. And,
yeah.
I know you had Damon Bradshaw, and one of the things that they talked about is, we know in Terracross you have to save or maintain the equipment. You can't just hold it all out all the time, because the course is made to slow you down. So, but what they're used to is the more throttle, the better, So
Yeah.
It's kind of that give and take. Well, she kind of forgot she was in the Razor instead of her monster truck, and she let her go.
Yeah, it was a good time. There's some great new personalities. I know you mentioned Damon Bradshaw. I've got him calling up later on in this hour. I'm really excited. But you want to talk about a guy? I mean, the Beast from the East. He's a legend. I mean, one of the greatest of all time on in Supercross and motocross. He's probably one of the greatest of all time in Monster Jam. Now he's in Terracross. I mean, every year we see some new talent coming in, Joe. I mean, Damon Bradshaw, that's a big one there.
Yeah, it's all thanks to, guys like yourself and Western Power Sports, Fly Racing, helping out, bringing these drivers and this talent. And again, we always talk about it. It's not so much about the racing ability. It's about the talent, and it's about the following, and it's about the character more than it is about the racing. Well, and Damon, you bring both.
Yeah.
You bring that along with the driving ability, and boy, did he look fast out there. Unfortunately, a couple of broken axles, but other than that, I mean, he was so fast on the track. And you give him a little time in the Razor over the next month or two and next event, and he's going to be right up in that hunt. And he was doubling some things or stepping down some things that only a couple, Jason and Cole and Ronnie, were doing, and it was pretty awesome to see, and loved having him there. He had a good time, and yeah, we have a good group of athletes that are part of it, and super excited about what the future holds, and knowing that we have Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indy next year, plus working on a championship event out west. June, July, August, June, July, September. Events coming up and something out west and for a championship. I mean, we got some really, really cool stuff coming, and super excited about what the future holds. And after this weekend, so is a lot of other people. I must have talked to probably 10, 15 people inside our little caged area that want to come and race, and how do I get in, and what do we need to do? And it's really easy. It's an affordable way to go racing, and you keep a machine at the end of the series. So bring a couple of sponsors on board, and very, very affordable way to get into off-road racing and UTV racing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know we got some big news coming up out of Terracross, but we're at time for this Terracross Optimus segment, Joe. But I think you and I will do it again next week. Probably start talking about that final event of this year that's coming up.
Sounds great, Jimmy. Thank you for everything, and great to see you this weekend.
Yep.
Nice job on your finishes there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty excited. Like I can't. I've had so many people on social media reach out to me. It's like finally, I feel like I'm legitimately allowed to race Terracross now because I've finally taken a couple podiums. So
you look good. You look good out there, and right up in the box there. A couple times over the weekend. That was awesome.
Yeah, a couple seconds. Now we just need to get over the hump and knock Hubert off the perch, I guess, and Brett Turcotte, I guess. They were the two winners. So got a little work cut out for us, but we'll make that step eventually.
Sounds great, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Joe. And that was Joe Duncan, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Honey, the Blue Water Resort and Casino is giving away over $61,000 in guaranteed cash prizes. It's the Crazy Cash Harvest.
Swipe your club card daily to receive drawing entries for the grand finale on November 25th with 3 $5,000 drawings, and one winner will win $25,000.
Plus, every Saturday, $3,500 in guaranteed cash prizes. Drawings from 2 to 6 p.m. Just see the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, your favorite motorsports radio show, brought to you by our good friends at Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Dirtfish, and some other amazing partners. But I do have to say, we've been talking a lot about Terracross and a lot of a bunch of other stuff, right? But we had Alexander Rossi on. Obviously, this weekend, big IndyCar finale coming at you from Sonoma. Also got Torque here in a couple of weeks. Their finale from Elk River, Minnesota. That one definitely going to be one to watch out for. Lucas Oil back in action soon as well. Man, we got a lot of racing going on. Kind of the hunt for championships is starting to play into things. And then we haven't even talked about Monster Energy Cup coming up next week. Or not next week, but next month, excuse me. Man, we've been talking a little outdoor moto. We didn't even talk a lot of that with Amy too much this year. But Monster Energy Cup, that's always the big one. It's kind of the one that gives you a glimpse into what's going to happen in 2018. So always look forward to Monster Energy Cup. I think the track is out there, and they definitely changed it up a bit this year. And the Joker lane is kind of insane. It's like a massive shortcut. So I'm really liking what Monster Energy did there for Monster Energy Cup. It's going to be a fun one. That's one definitely mark your calendars for. Get the barbecue grill ready. Get a couple extra cases of beer, put it in the fridge. Invite some friends over, because when that one drops in October, it's one you don't want to miss. It's definitely a night of fun if you're me and my friends. We always love Monster Energy Cup. I know a lot of my friends actually go out to the event. I haven't been fortunate enough to go out there. Not that I haven't been invited, but I'm always just it's kind of fun to be at home and enjoy that barbecue atmosphere with your friends and watch it on TV. And then, our good friend Travis Pastrana, he's racing NASCAR the end of the month. He's in that NASCAR truck race in Las Vegas. So that's coming up as well. We got some fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. Some really fun storylines, some fun guests coming up. Just a whole lot of good stuff. So thanks to all you guys who listen in each and every week. It was fun kind of being out there at Heydays this past weekend. Really kind of, I know at Crandon and then at Heydays, I really made it a point. I wanted to meet a lot of the listeners to the show. I wanted to see your feelings, what you liked, what you didn't like. Those of you who, those of you who, we haven't, those of you that we haven't really, met or we don't have the opportunity to meet, I'm really active on social media. Please DM me. But if you see me at an event, come up, say hey. I'd love to talk. Love to meet you guys and hear what you had to say. But always good feedback for the show. I know a lot of you guys are really pumped. I know we, recently have been doing some stuff with guys like Alexander Rossi, Graham Rahal, Courtney Forrest. Some fun people. That maybe a couple years ago we wouldn't have had on the show, but they're doing really rad stuff in motorsport, and and they're young, they're hip, they got great personalities. So I'm really, this is really a personality-driven show, and so we're trying to bring in, some more guests like that to the show, and really just expose you guys to rad people that are doing awesome things in motorsport. And a show like today, a mix of Sara Price, Alexander Rossi, and Damon Bradshaw. That's probably kind of where we're heading in the future, mixing a lot of off-road stuff when I'm driving and when there's big events going on, and rally and drifting like we always do. Obviously, we'll do a lot around Monster Energy Cup, probably get some Supercross riders on air. But I think that's kind of where we're at. Maybe some IndyCar drivers next week after the finale in Sonoma. But just fun stuff and stuff that I like watching and experiencing. But one thing, being out at Heydays, and it's like this big power sports festival, and it's a kickoff to snow season. Two big takeaways. And this is for 2018 and this winter season coming up. And if you're an action motorsports fan, obviously you're listening to this show, you are. Two big takeaways. One, I called it last year, and I'm calling it this year, and things may be delayed by just a little bit, but I am telling you right now, I said it last year, and I stand by it. Snow bike racing it absolutely is the next big thing. And, it's coming this winter. Like, I was talking to people who sold their snowmobiles just to get a snow bike. And they're loving it. Like, their bike, they can now, use it in the summer and use it in the winter. They don't need two machines. They've got one. They're buying a timber sled kit, and and they're literally just trading everything and going snow biking. And and they said, like, you get in the backcountry and in the deep powder, there's nothing like it. So snow bike racing, the next big thing. Snow biking, period. And I think racing wise, like I've heard of these different series popping up this winter. Obviously, it's in X Games. I think it's in X Games to stay. But I think we're seeing. Literally, we're like at the tip of a brand new industry, and this thing is it's on the verge of exploding. It's like a volcano, and it's starting to erupt. There's a little bit of lava oozing out over the top, but that big explosion hasn't happened yet. And I think that explosion is coming this winter. And I've called it for a year now, and I'm telling you, after being in Heydays, I stand by it. Snow bike, it is going to explode. And, I'm seeing so many guys that it's like re-energizing their career. And ladies, it's really cool to kind of be at that point in this industry to see something in its infancy that's going to explode. It's going to be like UTVs were 7-8 years ago. We're like at that point with snow bikes. So I'm pretty pumped, to kind of see where this heads. And to see the race series and things like that pop up this winter. I think it's going to be really exciting. And then the other big news, and this isn't finalized, and I normally don't talk about rumors on this show. I'm one of those where, you know what I mean, we got to be factual here, right? I like facts. I don't speculate. I don't do rumors. But from 3 different people who I consider pretty reliable, kind of in the know people. I heard rumors walking around when I was, talking with people at Heydays, that snowcross potentially is out of X Games this year. So if so, and freestyle snowmobile is still in, snow bike is still in, but actually snowmobile racing, snowcross, is out of Winter X Games in 2018. So if that is in fact true, that is massive, massive news. So I don't know. If in fact it's 100%, but that is definitely some massive news. I just got a text message from Amy Hood right now. She's out actually doing some monster trucking, and she's going to call in. So that'll be fun. We'll have her on for Damon Bradshaw. But, we've got Amy Hood calling in. But, snowmobiles, it sounds like, is out of Winter X. I don't know. It's not truth. They could always reverse, but a couple of reliable sources telling me that. So I would say it's probably leaning that way, which is kind of a bummer from my point of view. But yeah, it's definitely definitely a lot of stuff going into those decisions. X Games, as we saw with Summer X, they continue to reinvent themselves, and maybe this is the reinvention of Winter X. I think Summer X, everything I understand, was just absolutely an amazing event. So I don't know. Maybe that is what's needed for Winter X to re-energize things. Maybe they're going to bring in some new events. You never know. Like I don't know. What do we think? Maybe some snowmobile step up. That would be something quite interesting. I don't know. They're going to replace it with something, right? They got TV slots to fill. So if in fact it does happen, I don't know. I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear what's up next for Winter X. I don't know. Give me your speculations at JimBeaver15. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. I always like to know what's happening with you guys, and let me know what you guys think about Winter X and where that's headed. But let me know. Do you think that rumor is true? It could be. It might not. I don't know. So I don't know. We got about a minute and a half left of this segment. But coming up for the last segment of the show, it looks like Amy's calling in here shortly, and we got the legend, the beast from the East, Damon Bradshaw, is going to be calling into the show, and this guy, absolute legend in Supercross. I just pulled it up. He's ranked 10th on the all-time list of wins in Supercross. But if you got any questions for Damon Bradshaw, I mean, I don't know how many monster truck wins he's got, but he's got to be up there with Dennis Anderson as the legends of the sport. Spent 10 years in Monster Jam. But, if you got any questions for Damon Bradshaw, whether UTV-related, monster truck-related, if it's, Supercross, motocross-related, the guy still spends some time on a dirt bike, definitely hit me up at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. Don't hit Amy up. She may be calling into the show, but she's not monitoring Twitter like she normally does. So just shoot your questions to me. Tag me at JimBeaver15, and we'll get those asked to Damon Bradshaw here after the break. But we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, and we got Damon Bradshaw on the line when we come back for the break. So it's going to be good. Hang tight, stay tuned. We'll be back with more. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Waiting on Damon Bradshaw, the Beast from the East, to call in. Should be calling in, just about any time now. But super stoked to have him on air. It's a guy that I watched as a kid, man. Watching him racing moto and Supercross, and it's just it's going to be great to have him on air. This is one of those you guys have actually been asking for a couple of years now, and it's going to be so awesome to have him calling into the show. And looks like that is Damon right now. But let's see if we can patch him through. Damon Bradshaw, welcome to the line, my friend.
Thank you, man. How are you?
Good, man. We've been talking a lot of Terracross today on the radio show, mixing in some IndyCar and stuff like that. But I got to tell you, talked to Joe Duncan, had Sara Price on. Everybody was just amped to have you out there racing UTVs with us, man. How was the first weekend of Terracross treating you?
It was awesome. It definitely wasn't the results that I would like, but as far as the camaraderie and the race and the event was awesome, and just kind of makes you want to do more. I just wish it wasn't a few weeks away. I wish it was again the very next day.
Yeah, that's kind of me. It's like you got to hurry up and wait, right? It's like another month out. But yeah. So how's everything been with you? I know obviously we got a little bit to talk about your career here in a bit, but I know you had that big announcement here. I can't remember how long ago it was, but a ways back. But where you spent 10 years on tour racing monster trucks and things like that. I mean, you had a phenomenal career there. I mean, since that, I know you've been keeping busy. I see you're doing a lot of stuff in the UTV industry now. I mean, how has this year been for you? I mean, it's got to feel a little bit good, being able to be at home a bit too.
It is. It's it's nice to have a change, to do something different. I mean, I enjoyed the monster trucks and the fans and everything that went along with it, with Monster Energy and everything. But so it's definitely been a change. It was a slow start to the beginning of the year, just having time at home, getting things put together. But yeah, I do stuff with WPS, pretty much all entities of their company. UTV side, V-twin side, moto side, Shinko Tire, Sedona Tire and Wheels. So. And it also just makes it fun because I get to do so many different things. I mean, one weekend I'm at a UTV event, and the next weekend I may be at a V-twin event. And then also I do some stuff with Gas motorcycles, so I do a few races, do some stuff with their dealers, and also with their test ride with the new 18 bike. So just interesting. It's kind of a mixed up program, but, I probably travel, 20 weekends out of the year, and other than that, I'm at my parents' farm now in North Carolina, just helping around here.
Yeah. Well, and that's, that being said, I mean, I got to go back. I know you're still talking about, doing some stuff with Gas, but I got to go back to the beginning, man. And, your career in Supercross, I had to look it up before we had you call in, but I think you're right now you're ranked 10th on the all-time list of wins in Supercross. I mean, that it's like, to me, I grew up watching you on TV, so to be racing Terracross against you was kind of a bit of a surreal feeling. But, going back to that, I mean, how was that transition from from Supercross to Monster Jam? Because I know you went and did some time at in Arena Cross for a bit. I know I've read some articles on you in the past, and you kind of said you felt like there was still a lot left in the tank as far as that moto career was. I mean, how was that transition to Monster Jam? And do you still feel that way? Is it good to go back and do some stuff with gas and some events like that on bikes? I mean, is it still feel like home for you?
It does. It's almost like the full circle, and it's on a different level now, because you know how it is when you're racing, and that's kind of where your brain is. So now it's not that it wasn't fun racing, but you're just a different track of mind. So now I get to kind of pick and choose the events that I want to do, and I'm able to spend more time talking, to people about whether it's, the products or whether it's about racing. So it's just a little bit different mindset for me, and it's still hard because I want to be the best that I can be regardless of what I'm doing. But, in order, like on the moto side, some of the events, it takes a lot of work and a lot of training to do that and to be ready for them, and so I still try to spend as much time as I can on the bike to go and do some of the off-road events. And it is for fun, but it's still to go out and ride, the gas motorcycles and make people more aware that, they are on the map, and the 18s are going to be a lot better. But just, stepping back to my, Arena Cross stuff, and I was kind of forced out of an injury, just because of an injury there at the tail end. And so that's usually hard to grasp. I mean, when I retired from Supercross, it was, my choice. But then when you get hurt and you're kind of forced away for, it took over 2 years to kind of get my leg back to where I could go and do what I wanted to do. And I just felt like I had kind of missed my window there. And really, I wanted to ride, and I wanted to try to develop a program to where guys could start there and then make the next step to Supercross, because I felt like that Arena Cross was really good for that transition. I mean, it taught you to be aggressive. It taught you to be on your game as soon as the gate dropped, because it all happened really quick. And that all kind of went down the tube when I got hurt, and I spent the next 2 years rehabbing and trying to get my leg back to where I could just walk. So that was hard. But, transitioning from there, from two wheels over to four wheels, I love to drive. I mean, whether it's driving down the road, whether it's racing in Baja, or whether it's, short course with you guys at Terracross, I love to race, and I love racing four wheels. And so when I had the opportunity to move over to Monster Jam, it made sense as far as driving the truck and reading dirt and reading jumps. But when it came to, hitting cars and learning how to go out and be creative, and freestyle was more difficult for me, because I always thought, okay, I'm going to be much better at racing, and freestyle is going to be hard because I've never had to be creative in that way, more creative towards racing. And it just kind of worked out for me. I mean, I was able to do well at both. And, it's just another one of those things that kind of add to my career that, now I'm moving on. But I do want to do as much as I can in the UTV world, because obviously it's a very, very growing business and more competitive. And I think now with all of these other manufacturers potentially going to be a part of Terracross, it's just going to make the whole industry that much better.
Yeah. Well, and, and I got to ask, too, because I know you've got a lot of friends, I mean, ex-Supercross guys and moto guys. I mean, Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Johnson, who are, both friends of mine. But, they've all gone and gone, kind of into short course off-road. Is that something you've ever looked at? I guess there's been a few opportunities, and I do like the short course stuff, but I really like the desert stuff. And I've gotten to do the Mid-100, and I got to do Baja a few years ago, and plans on going back down to Baja this year and racing with Dave Cole and his team, and a buddy of mine, Lee O'Donnell, who drives the VP Fuels Monster Jam truck. So I like that time of being able to race for so long, to be able to get in a truck and race for 400 miles or 500 miles is just, for me, I can't put it into words, because I love to race. And it's like the year I raced Baja with Monster Energy and I did the last 375 miles of the race. When it was over, I was ready to turn around and go back that 375 again, so it's like you just can't get enough of it. Yeah, no, I got you, and that's me. My background is my background is trophy trucks, obviously, and coming over to the short course side of things is different because I'm used to, that long distance endurance racing. But my co-host Amy Hood, she's chiming in. She's got some projects she's working on, but we got her on the line now. And I know, I think the first time I met you,
hey, Damon.
Yeah, she's.
Hey there, how are you?
Yeah, she was saying so, and I forgot. You and I were talking at Heydays, and you're like, "I've met her," and it was actually at Hogs and Heifers in the bar. I think you guys were doing the Monster Jam World Finals. She was at the Mint 400 with me doing radio, and I think we met at Hogs and Heifers.
Mm-hmm.
We did. Now it's flashing back. Yep, I got it. Now I got a face with a name.
Yeah, so we were talking about that.
I think it's kind of funny. I'm pretty sure most people meet at Hogs and Heifers in Las Vegas from any motorsports walk of life. Like, I met a whole bunch of people there, and we always end up relaying that we met at Hogs and Heifers. So, good connection there. Where do you meet in Vegas at a bar? Duh.
Yeah. So, we were just talking some Supercross, Amy, and some moto, and, and kind of his transition into Monster Jam, which obviously at this point you've kind of made the same transition. But he was talking about how, he's used to racing, and then, the creative part of Monster Jam was something that, that was a bit different. He had to really kind of, adjust to that. So, I don't know. I know
you know what?
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that because for me it's different. Like, Damon, I don't know about you, but my two-wheel background has been a little bit of a hindrance in the racing side because, I'm doing arenas. I know you did a lot of stadium, lucky guy. But I've had to almost relearn and readopt new techniques going into my Monster Jam racing because I'm coming there like a dirt bike, looking for that rut to rail that corner, and it's just not working out for me. And I'm up against people like Camden Murphy, who comes from NASCAR background, who are used to four wheels, and it's been a little bit of like a learning curve with the racing side. The last year was my rookie year. This year, that's my main goal. I'm going to slay it in racing, but I'm liking the freestyle. Like, I like smashing stuff and hitting the jumps, and that's where I feel that my two-wheel background has really, allowed me to excel at the freestyle. But we always talk about not talk about Monster Jam for a second, but you are kind of in the similar grounds with everybody else and every other athlete, from going from two wheels, usually motocross, to something else, usually like a trophy truck. But then we always find ourselves in a Polaris Razor. Like, how are you loving that Razor? Like, those things are so much cooler than I thought.
They really are. And, I was trying to explain once I got back home to people, I said, taking a stock vehicle off the showroom floor, I said, you have got to look at the track. You got to see the track and actually look and see what we were putting them through. And, again, you can't expect to take that thing and go out and race them as hard as we were racing and not have some issues because, they're not designed on the showroom floor to do it. So I was really surprised that they were able to take the beating that they did and take them as well. And obviously with a few minor changes, you could take them out and really go racing. But it's just too much fun. It's like, some people go, well, they cost this, but every time you go to get them, they start, you can take them to the desert, you can take them to the dunes. I said, it really makes sense because something that's even close to that, and I think me and Jim talked about it this weekend. You're talking, $150,000 to go play in the sand dunes on some toys,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, absolutely. And like, they're so agile. Like, just like you said, I couldn't believe what these things can do. Heydays, my first Heydays experience, I go up there with Jim, Jim and I are walking the track, and there was a 75-foot over-under. And I look at Jim, and I look at that jump, and I look at Jim, I'm like, no, not happening. And, like, honestly, that Razor sent it over that 75-foot over and under like a 2-foot double. Like, I couldn't believe how those things, landed and how they jumped. Like, they're just incredible. I need to get one on my own to rip around in Canada.
that particular jump definitely must have been I know it was a big impact because that's all I heard the whole time I was there was everybody talking about that. I'm like, I hate I missed that. But talking about the Heydays of talking about the Heydays event, it's funny. I don't know how many people I've had text me today or yesterday and asked me, did I survive Heydays? And absolutely I did. I'm still moving well, and I did make it back home. But I can't believe I've never been to that event before. So to have the opportunity to go fly racing, and it was awesome. It really was awesome. Hopefully there'll be more to come. I know they have big plans for next year, and it'll be cool. Hopefully we can all be racing against one another again next year, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be there too.
Yeah, it's been. I know we're trying to get Amy back into Terracross too, but she's got such a crazy schedule now with monster trucks. It's been kind of wild. But yeah, I know we got to get you out in the desert. I mean, you were talking about you like doing the endurance desert stuff. I'm like, shoot, Jolene Van Vliet and I, we've got this factory razor program called Star Car where Pastrana came at Vegas to Reno, and we invite kind of celebrity guests to come race Best in the Desert with us in these long races. And I'm already thinking, I'm like, man, we got to get Bradshaw to come out here and race this razor with us in these long-distance desert races. I think you'd have a blast, man.
Heck yeah, I would love to. I mean, just the more experience, that you can get out there is just going to obviously make you that much better.
Yeah. So I know we
Damon, if you ever need a co-driver, I'm here. I am available. I'm not driving a monster truck. I will get in anything. I'll ride anything. I'll drive anything. And I'll sit next to you because I know what kind of driver you are. And
well,
give me
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
So we got only got a minute or so left, but what's up next for you? Obviously, I know we've got one more round of Terracross to go, another doubleheader. But between now and then, what's keeping you busy?
I got some moto stuff coming up. I'm going to the AIM show in Ohio with Gas for the Off-Road Expo there. So I've never had the opportunity to go to one because I'm always been busy. So I'm going to be at that, and then before you know it, hopefully we'll be in Raleigh at the next Terracross.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we're only about 2-3 weeks out, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one in North Carolina. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's only going to be a couple-hour drive for me, so I always like it when I can drive to my events. The airplane thing kind of burns me down a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring some rubber boots. Last year was a little wet.
Yeah, last year was definitely wet.
Right.
Yeah, there was people.
Well, man, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, no, it's a ton of fun, David.
Yeah,
we'll have to do it again soon. I think we could probably talk for a good hour just on everything, but I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll see you here in a couple of weeks out there at North Carolina.
Sounds good. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Jim. See you guys.
All right, thanks, buddy.
See you guys.
And,
bye.
We'll take a short break, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Couple minutes left in the show, wrapping things up. I got Amy Hood still here on the line. What's been going on, Hood? I know you chimed in there for Damon. He's a guy you and I have talked about. We both look up to. I mean, this guy is a legend in so many different ways. But awesome to have you calling in. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I love talking to Damon. He's such a talented all-around athlete, somebody I very much look up to and admire. You know, coming from two wheels really goes to show that you can have a long career, and motocross athletes are some of the most versatile athletes out there, you know, making his transition from a dirt bike to a monster jam to a razor and everything else that he does, he excels at. And, you know, just like Ronnie Renner, you know, our buddy, these old guys here are really sticking it to the youngsters and just showing how far you can really go with your career. And that's something that I admire and, you know, hope I can do myself. And, yeah, I've been getting ready for Monster Jam. Let's just say that. That's probably all I can say. But, Jim, you know, I got my rookie year under my belt. This year is my year. This is my year that I am planning on winning my tour. I had to kind of get my butterflies and my nerves out, and I'm feeling more confident and ready than ever. I've put in the time. I've been putting in the work. If you guys follow me on Instagram, at AmyHood71, you've been really able to see that, you know, I don't just drive a monster truck. On my off season, I'm still racing competitively, and I've actually won all my races so far this year. I like to say I'm an undefeated woman in where I'm from. I've been pushing it. I've been really trying to push my limits and push my boundaries and just really see what I'm capable of. And I think it's when you step outside your comfort zone and, you know, kind of run at that 110%, you'll really see what your abilities are. And been working extremely hard in the gym because, Jim, I've been working hard in the gym, Jim. But this is my year. 2018, I want to come out of the box hot. I want to win my tour, and I really want to put Zombie and Amy Hood and make, you know, myself a big name in Monster Jam. Had a great year, great fan following. I had so much fun, but now it's time to get serious, and I'm here to win.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely gotta lay it down this year. Like, I'm excited for year 2 for you. Like I talked about earlier, you know, in the show, I'm like, sometimes it just takes, like, you need a year. It was like me with Terracross. It took me like a year or so to figure things out.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you know, it's like
I saw your post and I seen you finish second, and I was so excited, Jim. I was so proud of you. Like, I know how, you know, dedicated you are to your Terracross racing and how much you love it. And I witnessed, well, your front flips. I saw your struggle. I mean, I've been there. I get it. And if all of you guys listening in, Jim had a rough first year. He was the only Terracross driver to successfully do 2 front flips in a row. Not just the first heat, but the second heat, too. So Jim's made some leaps and bounds in Terracross, and hopefully I can take after my co-host and, you know, make some leaps and bounds in Monster Jam. But really proud of you, Jim. Congratulations on your second place.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
And your points lead.
Yeah, 2 second places and points lead. And I don't know, I gotta actually kind of weird. I got a target on my back going into the last round. So I got to figure this out.
Well, consistency is key.
Yeah.
Consistency is key. That's what I've learned. You know, it's you got, you know, back to back, just, you know, stick it to everybody else and show them what you're made of, Jim.
Yeah, for sure. What's up next for you? I know you're doing a little brushing up on your skills, but other than that, you back to Canada soon?
Yeah, I'm back to Canada this weekend. Got a week out here doing some top secret high-end training, eating lots of donuts and stuff, but kidding. But as soon as I get back to Canada, it's really getting to the grind. Goes off for a little bit and really focus on my work in the gym. I know it's going to be a really grueling year. Again, coming out from a rookie year just means that my competition gets stiffer and everybody works just, a level up from last year, and I really need to put in the work at the gym. Get stronger, get tougher, because I always find when I'm physically ready, I'm mentally ready. So I'm about to slay it at the gym and get me some, little guns going here.
Too funny. All right, Amy, well, we got to wrap things up here, but much appreciated calling
Thanks, Jimmy.
in, and we will definitely give me a chat when you get to the airport or something.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks, guys, and stay safe and have fun.
All right. Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Bye. And, we got to wrap things up. Upcoming, we got Torque, Lucas, Sand Sports Show. A lot coming at you guys. Big shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, OTSFF, Optimus, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino. I'm Jim Beaver at Jim Beaver15. Amy is at AmyHood71 on social media. And don't forget, rate, review, subscribe to Project Action and the Down and Dirty Show. Don't forget, use that coupon code JBDirtfish for 15% off at Dirtfish Rally School. And don't forget to check out our friends at Heritage Road, their podcast, available anywhere you subscribe to podcasts, and that is on the history of NASCAR. And also, man, don't forget to go to podcast1.com and click that survey at the front page of the website. Click Down and Dirty Show and Project Action when you fill it out. It's anonymous, and it really helps us out. We'll be back next week with more of your favorite Action Motorsports radio show here at the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Be safe. Have a great week? I mean, a great week. We'll see you guys next week here. As always, game on.